What's up, everybody? Jarrett from Empire Visits here with a nice little Sunday morning National Card Show Collector Convention wrap up. Got home at about 9 o'clock last night, so I figured I would just shoot this video today. Got my cup of coffee, so go ahead, grab your cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about what I thought about the National. So obviously there was a ton of people, pretty overwhelming. I don't think I was as overwhelmed as I was at the Wisconsin Dells card show. That was the first big card show that I went to, and while the National is much larger, I think once you kind of see all of that and get used to people asking what you're looking for all the time and kind of figuring out how to work your way through the booths, I think it kind of goes okay, right? So the first thing I did when I get there, was wait in line. They had a ridiculous queuing system, so it was like you scanned your ticket, you got a wristband, and then you went and stood in a queue. So I'm not really sure what the point of that was, because you just walked through the queue and then got to go in, but the queue was like probably half a mile long, like no joke. So I'm not really sure what was up with that. But the first thing I did when I got in there was go to the Metazoo booth, because I knew they were giving away packs, and I needed my Patreon medals, and I knew that there had been big lines at those at some of the past ones. So that was where I went first. So that's where we will start with. I did get a first edition non-Kickstarter pack, and I did open that up, so I'll show you guys what I pulled. The big hit in the back was the Bigfoot Reverse Hollow. Obviously Reverse Hollow is not as nice as Hollow, but it is a nice pull of Bigfoot, who is one of the more popular ones. And one other thing I wanted to point out was the Tripadero. This has been fixed now so that there is a regular non-foil version instead of like in the Kickstarter stuff where there is only Reverse Hollow. So that has been fixed. So then I got a couple other things. I did get a release event medal, which says that the original owner of this page attended a Metazoo first edition Cryptid Nation release event. So that's pretty cool. It's got a Bigfoot on there. And then I got my Patreon medals, and you got these by being a part of the Patreon way back in, I think it was started in either March or April. That was how I was able to order first edition product directly through Metazoo. So the base level, or the $5 a month tier, gets you this one, the Patreon caster medal, and it says the original owner of this page was a member of Metazoo's Patreon caster tier. And then I got a Patreon Master Caster. This was the $10 a month level. That was the one that I subbed to, because you got a decent amount of product and it was only $5 more than the other one. It says the original owner of this page is a member of Metazoo's Patreon Master Caster tier. And because I was a Master Caster, they did give me 2 of each. So I got 4 of those total, which was nice. Be interested to see what those sell for on the secondary market now that some will probably begin hitting it. But right now I might have the only ones that would be on eBay, so that's pretty interesting there. And then moving on, I did pick up some Pokemon stuff. So most of these were just because I'm working on completing the EX Fire Red set and the EX Team Rocket Return set, and a friend of mine had these at his booth, so that was why I picked these up. But we have the Pillow Swine from Team Rocket Returns holographic card, and then we have the Reverse Hollow Team Rocket's Wobbuffet from EX Team Rocket Returns, which I like this card. I like Wobbuffet. And then we have the Executor, whatever, and this one is from EX Fire Red Leaf Green. So just 3 different cards that I am working towards to completing my sets of those. It'll be a long time before I complete those, because Fire Red Leaf Green has some expensive cards. You have Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur EX in there. I think you have Gyarados EX in there. You might have Gengar EX in there. You have a secret Charmander card. You have a ton of expensive cards. And then Team Rocket Returns is also very expensive. You have like the Bird Trio. Those are expensive. I'm trying to think what are the other big hitters in there, but that one has a lot of really expensive cards. So it'll be a long time before I complete those, but good to always keep working towards that. And then we have the one actual Pokemon card that I bought, and that was the Dragapult VMAX Rainbow Rare card. This one I bought just because I did get a look over the card in person and I saw that it was super, super clean. It says $30 on here. I paid $25, which in hindsight was an okay deal. That's about what they're going for on eBay, but I didn't have to pay taxes. However, there is a really nice CGC 9.5 on eBay for like $50. So maybe I will just buy that and then I'll have 2 copies. And then I can grade this one in a couple years when PSA reopens. But the other thing I want to talk about, well, we got a couple more items, so we'll finish going through those and then I will talk about in summary. So the next one we have is a packet of slab shields. These are basically protective covers like the ones that go over your phone, but they fit on a PSA slab so that the case doesn't get all scratched up. I think it's a really neat idea, especially for protecting your slabs. That way you can display them, you can store them easier, you can carry them around and not worry about them getting all scratched up on the front. And then if it does get scratched up, you just peel it off and you have a brand new fresh slab. A really good idea. So I did get a pack of those from the Slab Stocks booth. And this is the last pickup. This was the only card that I spent more than $100 on, more than $25 on. Up to this point was the most expensive card. This was a card that I have been thinking about buying for quite a while. Definitely one that I think is a really good investment this basketball off season, as this person did not make the playoffs. I think they're not so much in the news, but they had a really great sophomore season. I think I mentioned this in my other National Collectors Convention video, but that is the 2019 Panini Prism Red Ice PSA 9 Zion Williamson rookie card. This card was listed for $400, and the guy was right on comps. They're about $395, $400 on eBay. I did talk him down to $380, so that was what I picked this card up for. Definitely really happy with it. My kind of thinking behind this was there was quite a few Mosaic cards, but I am not a big fan of Mosaic. When it first came out, I thought it was okay, but I am not a fan of the red and the orange and the green parallels, and just not crazy about them. And then there was some Select stuff. The thing I don't like about Select is you have the 3 levels, and then you have the different parallels in each level, which I think makes it kind of confusing. Not saying that either of those are bad products. They just weren't. I don't think they're going to have the huge market demand like Prism is going to continue to have. And then obviously you don't want Prism base, but I also didn't have $1,000 or more to spend on the card, which is why this was a good middle ground in the PSA 9, because if you look up the pop report, in 10s there is like less than 60 of these guys, and even in 9s there's like 240, I believe. So an incredibly low pop card compared to the base. There is probably some getting graded at PSA, but probably not as many. I would think a lot of these are going to be graded, and even if the pop is like 300 total, it's obviously not going to blow up to more than probably 1,000, whereas the base Prism card is a lot more than that. So I thought this was a really good pickup. Definitely am really happy with that. And I will be looking to probably flip this card. Haven't decided if I'm going to do it right before the NBA season starts or if I'm going to wait a little bit and hope that he gets maybe a 30, 40 point game, gets some media hype and coverage around him, and then try and sell it. Obviously, it'll depend on what it goes up to. If it runs up to $600 before the season, I'll probably just dump it. But if it is still sticking right around that 400 range, then I'll probably hold it into the season a little longer. I do have pretty good faith in Zion. I think he will continue to do really well like he has the last 2 seasons. So definitely excited about that and think that he is a good buy right now instead of spending money on somebody like LaMelo Ball, who's never played in the NBA, or Anthony Edwards, or like some of the other guys that are more expensive. I think he is very expensive still. I think he is a good bang for your buck right now. So that was my big pickup. We will leave this one up here. Nice card, really happy with it, and that's all you can really ask. But then wrapping up kind of my thoughts about everything, like the Dragapult VMAX I paid $25 for, my experience was it's pretty hard to find any really good deals, right? The dealers do this as their job. With everybody checking eBay all the time, nobody's going to sell anything for way below comps. Obviously there's not going to be any dealers that are like really need money really bad. The only people that are going to be really hard up for cash are going to be just people that are visiting the event, maybe found another Holy Grail card that they want and have to liquidate quickly. And those people aren't trying to sell their cards to me, they're trying to sell their cards to dealers. So I think this idea that going to card shows is going to get you really crazy, insane deals probably isn't true, especially right now. The dealers are higher than the eBay market because the market has cooled off. A lot of buyers are still stuck in the cards at high prices, and that's just kind of how it is. So I think that's part of the problem as well, along with, like I said, everybody checking eBay comps. So you're probably not going to find any steals like that Zion card. I got it for 20 bucks less, roughly 20 bucks less than eBay prices, but I didn't have to pay the taxes on it and shipping. There was no shipping, so you don't have to worry about the card getting broken or anything, and you don't have to deal with the eBay seller. So maybe that's a little nicer. And obviously with raw cards, you can see them in person, which is a pretty big deal. But I definitely would not go expecting sudden tons of great deals to fall in your lap, unless maybe you knew something like Bowman baseball prospects, and you knew that a guy was going to be in the top 10 prospects list pretty soon, and you could rifle through all of the $1, $5 bins real quick and pull those guys out. Then you could probably do okay, but I'm just not in that market. As far as Pokemon at the show, there was very, very little Pokemon. Just not a lot of sellers that had it, and if they did have it, it was a couple of PSA graded cards that they were really high on. There was some nice stuff there, a couple of first edition Charizards, which was cool to see. I think I saw a PSA 7, which they were asking $22,000 for. And a couple other nice cards, but nothing, or maybe that price sounds wrong, that sounds way too high, but there just wasn't very limited raw cards, and if there was anything, it was really beat up, just not what I'm looking for. So I guess the takeaway from that is, if you're looking for deals right now, stick to eBay or stick to Facebook Marketplace. That's probably my favorite spot to look. Craigslist too once in a while. But don't go to a show expecting tons of good deals as just a customer, as a person visiting the show, not as a dealer. You're probably not going to find anything crazy. And luckily for me, I did stay with some family down there. But if you had gone and spent $500 on a hotel room, say you had to fly out or you had to drive and spend a bunch of gas money, definitely you would not be making money on the show. Which, that being said, when I went into this, my whole thing was just meeting people, making connections, and I did get to spend quite a bit of time at the Slab Stocks booth with those guys. So that was nice, and I got to talk to the Metazoo guys for quite a while. So a couple of nice things there. But yeah, just don't go to it expecting to have a bunch of great deals fall in your lap. Otherwise, that's kind of all I had. If you guys went to the National, you should let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, let me know what your thoughts were about attending card shows in general. Have you been to any? Are you planning on going to any? There is one more coming up back in the Wisconsin Dells near me. I will probably try and go to that one just for a day and walk around, see what the market's doing then. Maybe prices on dealers will be a little more fairly priced as we come into the football season and kind of the restart of the sports season, baseball playoffs, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Not a super exciting video, but you got to see all my pickups. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.